The family of one of the missing firefighters is speaking out about the search. It's been more than a week since Brian McCluney and Justin Walker left for a fishing trip out of Port Canaveral and sadly never returned. Thousands of volunteers joined the Coast Guard and JFRD to search land and sea for the two missing men, covering a search area twice the size of Florida. Let's get out to a news conference now where the family is expected to be speaking. They are out there towards the Firefighters Union off of Stockton. Let's check in now.
I'd like to say thank you to all of you guys here, news, media. You guys have been respectful, you've been diligent, keeping word. So thank you. I could go on and say thank yous till the end of time and wouldn't be able to thank enough people. But the U.S. Coast Guard has done an amazing effort, an amazing job. I cannot begin to thank them enough. The men and women over there poured themselves and everything they had into this, and they will continue. Although it may not be active, they are more likely to find something in their natural, regular search patterns, patrol patterns. If they found one slice of evidence, it would reactivate everything. JFRD, I can't begin to say thank you enough. They've wrapped me. I know they say that, once the fire family, I have truly felt embraced by that fire family. I felt like my family has strengthened and grown infinitely. And I want them to know, I know firefighters love to fix things and make things right. They did. So all of you guys out there on boats and airplanes, everything, you did. You did everything that you needed to do. Throughout I don't even know the amount of volunteers, the army of men and women that poured themselves into the past week. But truly, I see the hands and feet of Jesus through these men, through these women. I've never seen an outpouring. Whenever there was one more step to take, they were there, or they were already a step ahead of us, and they're still coming through, walking with us. There's no other words. I thank you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. I cannot give enough gratitude. We've seen the nation come together in unity here over this. Put everything else aside and do the job that was needed to be done. I just wanted to say thank you to the nation, everybody. I really don't have any more words.
I want to say thank you to the Coast Guard, JFRD, and all other federal, state, and local agencies, and the countless volunteers who worked hand in hand with them. There are no words to express our gratitude. There is no doubt in my mind that everything you did was humanly possible to find Brian and Justin, including the best technology and the best people this country has to offer. Brian was a generous and kind man. He had charisma, and he drew people in. He had that gift. I met one of his former high school classmates one time after years from their graduation, and she said to me, he was so popular and so cute when he was in high school. But she said, you know what I remember the best about him, or the most about him, is that he was kind to everyone, and everyone liked him. And that is rare. Brian was loved by JFRD, loved by his wife, his children, his parents, his grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, even his in-laws. And he was adored by his brother Kevin from the time Brian was born. Brian was Kevin's hero. He's a hero to us in all aspects of his life, both personally and professionally. But the type of person he is what was reflected from the type of person who helped with this search. And we've witnessed from around the world a group of people who we've never seen anything like what we've seen during this very difficult time. There were big gestures from people, like donating planes and boats and fuel and money, to small gestures of the man I'll never forget, who came up with a case of water in his hand when we were at the port in the tent and just put it down in front of us, nodded and gave a little wave and walked away. He was just there to help us. And then the foreign ship, merchant ship we heard about, who diverted from its route so it could also join along in the East Coast and help everyone else try to find Brian and Justin. We still have a glimmer of hope. There are still people out there looking now, including the Coast Guard and including private volunteers, and we so appreciate everything that they're doing. This experience, although tragic and heartbreaking, is a perfect representation of the power of people coming together for a common cause. Our community and beyond our community, we've seen togetherness, generosity, and kindness, all the things that Brian embodied. I will never have the appropriate words to say thank you to the thousands of people who searched for my son and the millions of prayers for my son. I have no words, and I will never know all of you, but I am in debt to all of you forever. Thank you.
Family and friends, there is so much to be said that I will inevitably come up short of what should be stated today. First and foremost, on behalf of myself and friends and family who could not be here, I would like to extend the most sincere thanks to the millions of you who provided your kindness and action in the search for my brother Brian and our friend Justin. The massive rescue effort that involves so many good people is the finest testament to Brian and Justin I could imagine. The tireless work put forth by so many federal, state, and local agencies, combined with coordinated efforts of thousands of aviators and mariners who had never met Brian, Justin, or our friends or family, is a shining example of what humanity can do when our differences are put aside to work together for a common goal. Throughout the search, I have been awed by what has been given, from the thousands of anonymous people donating fuel for the search, to the people who, when offered this fuel, refused to accept it, as they bravely took to the seas and to the skies in search for two amazing men. It should remind us all that there is more to our times than one tragedy following the next. Even among loss, we find kindness, bravery, and the bonds of life that tie us together when we are tempted to feel the most alone. I'd like to extend my gratitude to Justin's family for sharing him with the world. 6 weeks ago, when Brian and I were grappling with the recent loss of our father and heading for a dark place, Justin was quick to provide compassionate yet decisive help for us in our time of great sadness. Justin knew what duty meant, and it is a great comfort for me that Brian had such a fine individual to help him shoulder his burdens. It is my belief as well that Brian was strong for Justin. My brother could always put at ease the people around him, even if he wasn't saying anything. His mere presence, with its confidence, sincere kindness, and easy sense of humor, was a comfort that my friends and family are lucky to have shared. It is impossible to summarize a lifetime of brotherhood here, but I will say that as brothers go, Brian was the best. And I'm lucky to have shared my life with him as long as I have. In his absence, too, I have found family and friends in unexpected places. In particular, the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department has honored my family by joining it. Their bravery, kindness, and diligent work has been a gleam of light that my family so badly needed. Unfortunately, I do not have a complete list of agencies whose bravery and dedication provide my family with the comfort that no effort was spared, no stone was left unturned during the search. My admiration for the U.S. Coast Guard and partner agencies during this search will never cease. And I cannot ever fully thank either the individual agencies or countless brave people who, on their own time, gave so much to the search for Justin and Brian. I would also like to thank the numerous media outlets who have been so kind and so professional throughout the ordeal. You've been instrumental in spreading the word and unifying so many diverse people toward a common effort. In the coming times, it will be difficult to move forward among such a loss. It is critical to remember that during these times that friends and family will be strong for us when we falter, and to reach for help when needed. As Brian and Justin were there for us, when we needed them, we need to follow their examples and hold one another together moving forward. And it will not be easy, but we have good examples to follow. The kindness of bravery and Justin are the lights we should use to hold us together in dark times. Thank you, everyone, and please remember to take care of yourselves as well.
We'll take a few questions at this time.
We've seen how strong you guys have all been through all this. How are you balancing hope with your grief?
That's probably the most difficult, I think.
It is. I mean, I believe in a God of miracles. We know that. He's parted waters, he's had seas. Then I also have 2 children to think about that I need to give them some answers. So I will always have a hope. My hope lies in Jesus. My hope lies in, I know that there will be reunion, whether it is here or whether it is in eternity. But this is a brief moment. Eternity is forever.
And there's, sorry.
You're good.
Also, the example my father and brother and Justin all gave is duty. We have work to do, and that is where we need to focus. A lot to do.
Ms. Carlett, you talked about how a high school friend remembered how kind your son was. Do you mind telling us what you remember about his decision to become a firefighter? After all, a job that demands compassion from deep in the heart and the ability to save lives and go out and just help humanity day in, day out. Can you relay those memories to us, please?
Yes, he had been, he was a hospital corpsman and joined the Navy and was in Fallujah with the Marines, and then went back as a medevac helicopter on his second deployment. So the fire department seemed like such a good fit for him because he missed, when he left the Navy, he missed that brotherhood of soldiers, of sailors, I shouldn't say soldiers. So I thought he was making the best decision because my husband and I always told our sons, you need to find something to do with your life that will make you happy and make you feel fulfilled. And so we were very proud of him when he made that decision.
You all have really touched our lives, and obviously the official search being over is devastating for everybody involved. What is next for your family now? What do you need from us? We have people in the community still want to help.
And,
So
and,
what can we do?
and there's such an outpouring of people offering to help. I don't know, it's hard to,
Well, for now, the GFRD website, GFRD.com, will be the primary point of contact for people who want to contribute in some way. Obviously, with the search being, fueled, not being, routed to that, that'll be repurposed, but that's still a work in progress. I think the Jacksonville Fire and Rescue Department can probably address that a little more thoroughly than we can.
and we live in Brevard County, and the Cape Canaveral Fire Department has reached out to us to come do anything we need at our home, because there were some projects my husband was working on that didn't get finished, so they're coming on the weekend to help. So, people have brought food and all kinds of things, so we feel like we're being taken care of very well, and I know you do too.
Will there be a vigil somewhere tonight?
Not at the moment. We'll speak
Yeah.
more on that
Yeah.
another date.
Yeah. Right now, I think we're just trying to rest a little bit and let our minds rest and our emotions
We have
rest.
to get
and-
some sort of normalcy
yeah.
for the children, get them into their routines.
Yeah.
How are they usually? How are they doing?
There's moments There's moments as to be expected. They don't know what to do with. There's a lot of questions naturally, but I mean, there's teachers that are wrapping their arms around them. There's friends that are wrapping their arms around them, and one day at a time. That's where we're at.
As a new grandma myself, my stepdaughter has 2 children now. It is a new role. And a lot of times everybody looks up to you for some sort of wise words. Sometimes that's tough. What are you telling your grandchildren?
They haven't asked me that many questions yet, and I'm expecting that they will. Bryn wraps her arms around me and I'll just say, Gram, oh, Gram. But I think with time, as they process all of this, there will be more and more questions. Can I tell the fishing question?
Sure.
Okay.
Cookie question.
I wasn't there for this, but Connor wanted to know if there were cookies in heaven. But then he also wanted to know if there was fishing in heaven. And he thinks that every time you throw your line in the water, you're going to catch a fish in heaven. So that sounded pretty good to me. And Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you could say they're asking child questions.
Yes.
And we'll give them simple answers that will help them understand as best they can.
Yes.
Thank you. Sometimes those child's questions can help us adults as well.
That's right.
Absolutely.